This is Keyed In with Max and Brent, unlocking the minds of the industry's top real estate professionals. And now, here are your hosts, Max Rabin and Brent Jackson.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Keyed In podcast. I'm Max Rabin. This is my co-host, Brent Jackson.
What's up, Max? How are you?
I'm good. How's your week been? How's everything going in your world right now?
It's been crazy. It's more on the family side. We've had a couple of tennis tournaments. I'm trucking up to University College Park every other day. Closings going sideways, which is not fun. So it seems like every day is a little different.
Yeah, I feel you on that. The market's still hectic right now. This is October of 2021, and I don't really feel like anything's slowed down for me. I'm still just about as busy as I've ever been. What about you?
Same, but we've been doing a lot of numbers for our sellers now because if things haven't sold in 2 days, they're screaming at us like, what's going on? And we're coming out of the pandemic where things sold with multiple offers in a weekend, and now if something's been on the market for 2 weeks, they start to look at you sideways like, what are you doing or what are you not doing? So We've been reporting back to a client, inventory's up, new listings are up, and all pendings are down. So that's an inverse relationship. So we're telling our sellers, hey, it's going to take a little bit more time than 2 weeks on the market.
Yeah.
Our sellers, anyway, in our wheelhouse.
Well, I'll tell you, it's especially with the condos too. It's been kind of touch and go with some of these things. But I guess for my buyer clients, they have more options and we can come back to things and maybe negotiate a little. But yeah, still very busy. So can't complain about that.
Now, we got a
phone. Go ahead. Sorry.
We got a phone call this morning from a developer. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. But I was having breakfast, developer called. They have 30 units left in this project. It's a 74 unit project. They're looking to go in a different direction. I told them to hold par until the end of the calendar year and then make a transition after the calendar year to do that break between Thanksgiving and Martin Luther King Day weekend. But we're in the mix. We'll set up an RFP, but it'll be interesting to see kind of what we formulate as far as our game plan, our strategy, our pricing, as this market, as you just mentioned, the condo market, is it going soft? Is it going sideways?
Yeah. Well, speaking of being really busy and being tough, great agents, we've got two awesome agents with us today. This is Ellen and Courtney Abrams. They're the Abrams Group with TTR Sotheby's International Realty. This is a mom and daughter team. We talked to Lauren Davis recently. She came from sort of a mom-daughter team, and now she's sort of like the legacy agent in that group. So I'm always fascinated by the relationship, the familial relationship team and how the dynamics. So welcome to the podcast, Ellen and Courtney.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you. We're honored to be here.
Well, we're honored to have you.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us a little bit about, so Ellen, you've been in the business a long time. I've known you for many, many years. Tell us how you got started in real estate. When was that? If you would be so kind as to share that was.
I'm not really sure I want to. No.
Yeah, you don't have to look.
Was I alive?
That's a great question.
Yes, Courtney was alive. She was 18 months old, actually.
Wow.
Okay.
So you can do the math from there. No, I'm in my 36th year. So,
wow.
And I decided to go into real estate. I had been a paralegal before that for a communications law firm, just right down the street. And I stopped after Courtney was born. And then I decided I thought I would do something that I could have some time to spend with Courtney and my other daughter after she was born. And it would just be, wouldn't have to work hard, whatever.
Have a flexible schedule.
Flexible schedule, could pick them up from school every day, and here we are. And that's not how it happened. That's not how it worked out.
So how did you get into real estate though? So you wanted to change, but was there like someone you were watching that was pulling you into real estate? Or
no, my dad had been in real estate.
Okay.
He was a developer, and so and of course I watched him. He played golf every afternoon, so I thought, well, why not? So anyway, no, I just thought I wanted to do it, so I just went and interviewed and went to work for a small company called Dale Denton, where two of our TTR leaders also worked.
That's where they started.
That's where they started, Jonathan and Michael.
Yeah, that's before my time, but it seems like everybody started there.
Yeah, a lot of people did start there, and they're still in it. So yeah. No. Anyway, yeah.
That's like the origins of the DC real estate market as we know it now. That's like back in the day, that crew of agents who are still sort of running the show came from that era.
Yes.
You know?
Uh-huh. That's true.
So is your
It's hard to get out, right?
Yeah.
Hard to trying to kick her out of the business, you know. But
No,
at this
Indeed.
point,
I've got a little more time left, I think.
Courtney, are you aiming to kick your mom out of the
I
business?
was
Is that
kidding.
Yes.
Oh.
Black Swan?
Yeah, right.
No, I think that's a misconception. I think people think, you know, oh, she's giving me leads, or, you know, I was servicing her clients when I first started, but it was the complete opposite.
Yeah.
I remember asking her, you know, how do I get business? I mean, I know that, you know, you can mentor me and basically, you know, tell me how to do a real estate deal and advise me that way, but how do I get business? And I remember you just saying, I have no idea how you do that. All my clients are referral.
Well,
So-
not well, yeah, I
not
guess,
all of them,
yeah.
but
but a lot
you know,
are, yes.
so
That's
just
true.
a bit interesting dynamic,
Yeah.
especially starting
Courtney, I
20
asked you
years
about
later.
that.
Courtney, I asked you about that, I don't know, a couple of years ago. I'm like, so does Ellen just hand you some of her clients that she doesn't want to work with because of a different price range? She's like, oh, no, she does not.
And it's funny, the other day, I think it was Saturday or Sunday, I was showing property in Chevy Chase, which is where Ellen lives, and she was showing condos downtown. So we were, you know,
So it's a,
Crossing
ships
paths.
passing
it's
in
a
the night.
complete reversal.
And I was like, oh, wouldn't this be, you know, convenient if I could, you know, we could just switch for the day, you know, because I've been driving up and down, you know,
Right.
Wisconsin Avenue, because a lot of my condo buyers are moving to the suburbs, you know, starting families and all of that. So it's just interesting that, you know, we keep our own business, and sometimes we share business. Just depends on, you know, what the client needs, but.
Do you guys have
So-
a business plan that you work off
Yeah.
of?
No, but I will confess that yesterday I listened to the business plan Zoom call that TTR offered yesterday. So I thought it
Okay.
was really great, and I thought that there were a lot of good things to really consider doing. But you know, no, I never have.
So do you guys have like a crazy uncle or cousin or whatnot that is looking to buy or sell, and you guys will? How does that process work as far as like you're going to share? Is it something you talk about up front?
Yes, I mean, if you get, I mean, you had a referral this year, and you asked me to go in on it with you just because you thought that the dynamic of the age group or whatever was going to work, and so, you know, we worked with them together. And
Yeah, and then, you know, when my sister and her husband wanted to buy,
Courtney.
Yeah.
we were
Yeah.
joking. I have one sister, and you know, we were joking about who is going to get to represent them, you know, on their purchase in Alexandria, and
Yeah.
you know, I tried to fight Ellen for them, but you
There was
know,
no sharing in that one.
I let her handle it. And to be honest, I don't really want to do business with.
Was there a backseat
Any of
driver
the
there?
rest
You're
of our
like, why
family.
didn't Mom put in that contingency?
no. I don't think you really knew much about it. What was going on?
I just think I didn't really want to be involved.
Right.
You know, I love
Yeah.
my sister, but you know,
So you guys basically, it flows a little bit between the two of you. You are obviously discussing each other's business during the day, and then in terms of how you share the work, and then I guess share the commission money, it kind of it evolves with each deal, so to speak. Is that true?
Yes, but it's really pretty few deals that we have to have those discussions on.
Gotcha.
You know,
Yeah,
I mean, it's
and-
really not, I mean, it's certainly not everything. You know, Courtney has her business and she's doing fantastic. And so she does her thing. And I mean, and then there are times that she'll call me and say, Mom, can you go put the lockbox on this, which I did this week. So,
so I was a little busy.
you
but
know, I mean, so we help each other out. I mean, and it's great, but that doesn't.
Mom, go
that's-
put a lockbox
Yes,
on. I can't even.
yes, dear.
I just can't call her my assistant in front of clients. You know,
Right.
it's considered rude.
Oh, no. That's a little rude.
No, I mean, I feel very lucky, obviously, to be in this position. I wouldn't be at Sotheby's. I wouldn't be in this business. I wouldn't, you know, be as successful as I am today without having Ellen, slash
Thank
mother.
you, but I think you'd be very successful no matter what.
But, you know, a lot of my business in the beginning, I needed that sort of mentor, somebody who had the experience to, you know, have credibility. I mean, who's going to hire a brand new agent who, you know, is 26 and, you know, just got their real estate license. So I understand that I am grateful for, you know, her experience, which is why, you know, now if I'm a little busier, you know, we can kind of share, you know, business sometimes.
So backing up a little bit, how did you get into real estate at 26?
Right.
Or why?
So, I mean, I never thought that I wanted to,
No,
no offense, but we talked about this before. I never really wanted to, you know, work for my mother. We have a, you know, she's my mother. It's a different relationship. You know, and so I started because I was working for a commercial real estate company in Tysons, and this is 2008 to 2011 or 10, and I was working at a desk doing spreadsheets. I was a research analyst, writing office market reports about, you know, vacancies in Reston Herndon office space. I mean, it was so boring.
Exhilarating.
Yeah. I mean, the only exciting thing about, you know, working in Tysons is I would go to the mall during lunch and go shopping. You know, like very, no, I mean, I wasn't going anywhere expensive. I was just, you know, bored.
Right.
So anyway, I finally said, you know, I need a change, and I wasn't using my personality or, you know, I just wasn't using my skills. I think that I knew that I had, and I'm a very competitive person by nature. I played sports competitively my whole life. Even when Ellen was doing open houses on Sundays and wasn't able to be at soccer games, I still, you know, I just wanted, I think, to have a job that was a little bit more fulfilling and interesting. And, you know, when I was home from college, I would work at Evers and Company, which was the residential firm that my mom was working for at the time. So I would just answer the phones and work on fact sheets, which is what they were called, which are our brochures now. So I would help design those and, you know, answer the phones. And it seemed like an interesting place to work. And I don't know, I just kind of I think I was so bored at my other job that I just wanted to do sales and not be chained to a desk all day.
I hear that.
So, quick question. You guys were at Evers and Company together, and I can't remember. Did you guys come over together? Or
Yes,
you
we
did come
did.
over together?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Mm-hmm. They had no idea who I was.
I don't know that that's
I'm
true.
kidding.
Well, I think I did a deal early on with Courtney. I think it was the Apollonet.
Yes, I remember that deal.
Yes.
Yep, my very good friends. I think I called you 300 times that Friday. They lived in the building and they wanted to buy the unit that you were selling. And
it was a cool unit because it was totally modern. He put in those white porcelain floors, high-end kitchen and bath, something you typically don't see in the Apollonet, which is 1330 New Hampshire Avenue in DuPont Circle.
Yeah, and they were I think sometimes I work harder for, you know, friends, people that I know, just because I want them to be happy.
They put you on the spotlight.
Well, yeah.
So they're expecting greatness.
Yeah, and I have to deliver.
Yes,
you gotta deliver.
So how does that work out? Because I'm not from the area. Max is. You're growing up. You've been here your entire life. I mean, do you have a large network of friends that you're now selling or buying condos of homes with?
Yes, that's really sort of how I started my business. Is I would let friends of mine know that I was an agent, and I would post Ellen's listings on Facebook and not pretend they were mine, but I would just, you know, say that they were, you know, look at this beautiful house that Ellen is selling and I work with her. And,
you know, Courtney, I want to say something about that. Cause we work with younger agents, younger people. I'm always explaining to them, I'm like, you have to work within your social group. You have to explain to them the business that you're in and tell them about the things you're doing. and or else they won't get it later when they actually go to look for the business. They need to know that you're in business and that's what you're about, and you have to make it clear to them. So it sounds like you really did that with your social group. You were like, I am a realtor. Do not call anyone else. Hello.
Right. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
and I had no experience, so why would they hire me when they know, everybody else's parents or aunt and uncles who are agents and had experience? So I would post Ellen's listings on Facebook, and then, I was 26 at the time, and we weren't in the middle of a pandemic, so I was going out, on the weekends, and I would run into, not only like my group of friends, they knew what I was doing, but, friends of friends. And, they would say, oh, I saw that beautiful house you posted, or that condo downtown. I'm thinking about, maybe buying in the next year or so. And, so I would remember that. I mean, I wouldn't, call them and, be aggressive the next day and, tell them to sign the paperwork that I represent them. I mean, that's just not my personality, and it's definitely not your personality. So, just kind of staying in front of people and being myself, being approachable, and just kind of using that network over time. But, I heard from many people, you have to stick this out for at least 3 years.
Yeah.
And, I had to move home. I was living in Glover Park with a lot of friends right after college. And then, to do this career, I, knew I was going to take a huge pay cut, which was motivating because I was living at your house, which, wasn't that exciting at 26. Sorry. Ellen runs a tight ship. She always has.
You'll be home by 9
So,
p.m.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah, right.
it's like, call me when you get there.
I still
where
do.
are you?
I still say that to you.
Yes, I know. And this is, now everybody can understand the family dynamic. It's a little, interesting. So yeah, I mean, it was really motivating, I think, to, be at home and have to do open houses on Sunday when all of my friends were, at brunch, and, they knew I was.
You can sneak in a brunch before an open house. How long does brunch have to go?
Not with bottomless mimosas,
Yeah,
Max.
that's very
Watch
true.
out for those.
Might as well just go to Starbucks and have an egg sandwich or something.
Fair
That's
enough.
that's
Yeah, really.
brunch, when you're in your
Yeah.
20s.
Make an
Yeah.
offer. Sell or take anything. Sell it furnished. So, Ellen, did you grow up in the area?
No, I did not. I grew up in Florida.
In Florida.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So what brought you to D.C.?
I came here to go to college. My brother was at Georgetown, and I had been in boarding school in Massachusetts, and I came here, and I went to Mount Vernon, which was a small women's college, 2-year, and which is now part of GW. The campus is on Foxhall Road.
So you've been
Right.
there for a while.
Yeah, and then I went to American, finished at American.
So did a lot of your peers stay in the area from schools and
Mhm.
colleges?
Yep, quite a few. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you've had a similar experience.
You got
with
a good
Courtney's.
network.
Yeah, really good network.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go back to what you said. You said, I'm not, we always talk about people with their business plans and their focus and what they're doing. And you're like, I don't really have a business plan, but yet you guys do excellent business. So there's got to be some kind of planning and some thought that goes into the day-to-day operations of how you guys do everything for marketing and for whose responsibility is. But how about marketing? Like, is there any plan for that, or do you guys just you like you get a listing, we put it together, it's marketed, or how is there a longer term plan? Is there anything like that?
I think it's taken us a while to.
Well, there's been different, as the years have gone by, there have been different things. We've had assistants.
Yeah.
We've done it on our own. And I think now that the system that we have is really the best system for us is we use Teddy with Adminisaver,
Right.
to do all of our upfront things, getting a listing ready, the brochures, all that. And then
So for our listeners who may not know, so for agents at our company, there is a woman who has she's basically an off-site remote assistant, and she is very adept at all real estate things, contracts, listing, marketing. And so she, for a fee, will help out as like a concierge to get all of this done. So that's a great help if you're just you need assistance for one deal, but maybe not the next one, and then it's paid for like a la carte.
That's
Right.
what that is.
And
Exactly.
I think just because it's the two of us and we don't have a big team of people who can help us, individually, it's just nice to be able to, not be paying a full-time assistant salary and just, have her help us so that we can, put out the fires that we have to do every day with deals that are, falling apart or, all of that. So it just frees up some time. And then we did a transaction in Virginia with another agent from our firm. We had a listing in McLean, and we ended up, working with this agent who we have a good relationship with. And she has her own assistant who actually lives in Spain.
Mhm.
And she's sort of a transaction coordinator, where as soon as we get a ratified contract, we can send her, this assistant, the paperwork, and she coordinates and sends emails, keeps everybody on track from contract to close. And I mean, she lives in Spain, so her emails are, going out to clients at 4 a.m., which makes it seem like we're awake at that time. We're not like Brent here, we don't wake up at 5 a.m. But she makes us she makes us look good.
Makes us look really good.
And
Which is great.
and she just coordinates all of the things that we can't do while we're meeting with clients or in the car, and she keeps everybody organized, and she, puts things on our calendar, important dates for deadlines so that we can remind clients. And it just makes us more efficient because we are very client focused, and we want to, meet with the client from the first meeting all the way to the closing. And, so they're always getting, one of us or the two of us. So I think just having those two people in place is.
So 2 principal agents, and then you've got sort of your off-site assistants. So how much volume are you able to work with?
Can I go
Each
back
for the
and
last
just
couple
say,
years.
can I just
Yeah,
go
go
back
for it.
and say
One
one
more.
other thing? We also
Mhm.
have a social media person
Okay.
who
Okay.
we've known since she was born.
Yeah, she was our next door neighbor.
She was our neighbor,
Wow.
but this is what she does. She does a lot of,
She started
media
her
stuff.
business, after she graduated from college and moved back home. And
Now she
So-
lives in Charleston. So everybody's pretty
everybody
remote.
is really
But
remote.
she does all of our social media.
So she schedules the social media.
Yep.
She gathers the assets that you guys are out getting the photography and everything, and she
Yeah.
creates all the.
And we
that's nice.
send
That's
send
really
her
nice.
content, and
Mhm.
kind of give her ideas if she doesn't.
That was
know
my question as
what
far as
to-
like the content not being local. Is a new restaurant pops up, you're sending her that
Yes,
content.
yes,
Right.
definitely.
So yeah.
Mhm.
And Sotheby's property of the week, on Wednesdays. And Sotheby's obviously has great content as well. And
How do you guys divvy up
Open
the
houses.
expenses with this, as far as like the marketing of flyers, brochures, the paying of the admin? Do you guys get a bill at the end of the month and be like, okay, I'll pay $1,000, you pay $1,000, or do you guys have an LLC set up?
No, we do not have an LLC. We just, we split those things. But if it's a transaction that's Courtney's, she pays for it. If it's a transaction for
Yeah.
mine, and everybody knows to bill us separately unless we say this is going to be
Okay,
split.
that's smart.
Yeah. So we,
Yeah.
we keep it pretty simple. And
So from the hybrid assistant, they're going to bill each of you 50-50.
yes, if
That's good.
we're sharing that
Right.
particular property.
And
Okay.
now what's really convenient is Venmo.
Yes.
I mean, a lot of them are taking.
A quick
Venmo.
question on Venmo. I have money in the account, but every time I send a payment, it gets declined. But I don't know. They say it's something with my Amex or whatnot.
Oh.
I don't know if you guys have run into that, or Max, if you run into it, but it's like I keep paying like some of these vendors, and it's like if you hit a certain threshold, it just starts declining.
Well,
I
yes.
think it's because you're bidding on too many vintage baseball
Yeah.
cards and you're over your limit.
Yes.
What are you doing?
That Honus Wagner put me under the table.
there is a limit, I think, every month that you can
Yeah.
Yeah.
send.
Okay.
But I mean, I think it keeps, because we're paying these people,
Telling
a
how
la
to use
carte.
Venmo. This is
Yeah, how about
right.
that?
Well, it's sort
heard
of
of
funny
PayPal?
because
I don't use PayPal.
Ellen, you didn't even want to get on Facebook. Remember that?
Oh gosh.
Yeah,
No.
and then now she's like, "Have we posted to Instagram
See,
today?
Yeah.
What's my password?"
She one of those counter people too. It's like, why do we only have 17 likes, or why do we only have like 2,000
Yes,
likes
yes,
on this
yes,
one?
I am.
Definitely.
Their photo's worse, and we only got so many likes, and they
Right.
got that many.
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
But I mean, even when I started, I mean, we only had Facebook, and I mean, you
Yeah.
couldn't even really post a lot of photos. I don't think. I don't know. So now we're doing LinkedIn and Instagram and trying to stay.
So your social media person has a good handle on this to keep you in line with all that. That's
that's
Yes. Yes.
This
she
is one
does.
thing I told my business partner who just got into Instagram. He's very similar. He's like, why did so and so get so many likes for that silly post, and I only got this many? And I'm like, you have to look. And Max, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but
Mhm.
from my looking at it, it's like if you can get 15% of your followers to like your photo or whatever, then you're doing good. So you can't count if someone's got 10,000 followers and 1,000 likes, but you have 500 followers and like 200 likes. Well, you actually did better because the more of your people engaged with your content versus the other person. So if you can hit that like 15% number, that to me is more important than the actual number. I don't know if Max, you have any insight on that?
I think for my recent stuff, at least for I'm as a lot of people know, I'm really focused on TikTok these days. But for my most recent stuff on TikTok, if something is picking up steam on the views, if I've got like a 10% or a 12% conversion on likes to views, I feel like very confident that is a decent level of virality, quote unquote. So, and with Instagram, it's really touch and go on Instagram. If I post, we have a listing right now that is the former residence of Julia Child, which is just, it's viral on its own. Just saying Julia Child is just, they freak out. So I posted a video for that the other day, and it's performing way better than anything else. So sometimes it's kind of hard to measure. It depends on what you're doing. Video, honestly, video right now, and people have been saying this for, I don't know, a decade. Video, you got to have video. People I think are almost expecting the video first. They're not even expecting the static images anymore. So everything has to be in motion.
So
You need to teach us how to do TikTok. I don't even know.
So I guess you guys don't have a TikTok.
No.
I've been telling agents around that more than happy to get together and do an essential TikTok tutorial. The first thing you need is iPhone 12 Pro or better phone.
Oh no, I
And-
think I'm only at 11.
11's not terrible, but it's just the camera. It's all about the camera. And we talked also with Daniel Hyder on another episode that's actually may have aired by the time this one airs, but he says that, and they do a ton on TikTok, as you know. They said most of their stuff is on an iPhone 12 Pro.
so
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, when you have good content for that, I think that helps too.
You have good content. It's just a matter of putting it out
Absolutely.
there.
Right.
Like even house you just sold on Kingman. Like, I mean, like seeing the transformation because
That was
we
quick.
walked it.
Hmm.
I mean, you beautified it, got it on the market, had a great open house, and sold it in a weekend. I mean, that in itself is a nice content that consumers would want to hear and see.
Hmm. And
I-
yeah, and I have video for that, which we posted, and
Max, do you do because I just got the new iPhone and I was at a
Yeah.
Halloween parade yesterday, and
Yeah.
for the first time I did the video and I did the cinematography video, and I was watching it back so many times. I'm like, it is really wicked good.
I don't even have that one yet. So you have the newest new one. So that's I think I have to upgrade because I'm going to start seeing like cinematography level stuff, and I'm going to be
jealous.
It's crazy.
So that's-
And Daniel Hyder told us that he's like, get the iPhone 13 Pro or whatever.
I'm going right after this podcast. I can't
Gotta go.
handle it. I can't handle
well,
it.
while you're there, just pick us
Yeah,
up
we'd
a
like one
couple.
You got it.
I don't need one.
You still have a flip phone?
No, I do not.
That's mean.
Aw,
No.
God.
There are some people that still have the flip phone. It's like they haven't adopted they didn't even go into the BlackBerry world. It's like, I want to make sure I can stay in my space and have my own time. I don't want to be, they've never connected to the world, so to speak.
Yeah.
I'm connected.
So we're going back to, so you guys, you guys on the street here. You're doing all the showings. You're doing all of the listing. You're doing all of the tough realtor work. You've got a social media person. You've got your offsite assistant, and you guess you have 2 offsite assistants who help you with things. How much volume are you able to handle with your sort of offsite core team? Well, how's your volume been over the last couple of years?
It has increased every year. This year right now we're at about 45 million.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
That's excellent.
Right now. I mean, we've got some other things that are coming up, but
That's really good.
and settling.
That's
Uh-huh. So we've been busy.
yeah.
So that is proof of concept right there. That sometimes it is nice to have a team. Brent obviously has a huge team. It's like people go like, oh, the Logan Circle office is buzzing. There's so many people here. Yeah, they're all on Brent's team.
Yep, and then me in the other corner.
But you guys, you run very efficiently, and there's something to be said for that.
Yeah, I mean, and I think because I would say my average price point is lower than yours, and I'm very buyer rep heavy. I'm probably doing at this point now, since it's been like over 10 years that I've been doing this, I probably have more transactions.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh, you
do have more transactions.
Because I'm because I'm selling condos.
Right.
But Courtney, you're laying the groundwork for your age, like demographic and dynamic. You're laying the groundwork for the next sales, and I'm like a little bit ahead of you in years, like not much, but that's what's happening with my clientele. So I sold them their first place. You keep them in your realm, remain their friend, remain their person. That you want that next call when they go to list, and then they're
right, and that's
life continues.
That's the long-term game, and every year, even since I've been at Sotheby's, I've increased my business every year and my price point. So it's something that I focus on. I mean, I never turn down business. It's probably one of my problems that I have, because I'll do a rental because I want to build a relationship with the client, or I like the people and I want to help them, and I hope that they call me when they're ready to sell their $2 million house on the hill.
I've had that swing both ways though, Courtney.
Me too.
Isn't that unfortunate though? So you're like, I'll go through this BS of doing this rental for this person, and you're doing the best, you're giving them the best service you can, and we all know rentals, like, for lack of a better term, suck. And you do all this work for them, and then they have a bad experience with a tenant, something you have no control over, and you're related to this experience. So I'm trying to figure out a way to just, how do I push rentals away from me while still keeping that person in my realm? It's a tricky
little game.
Yeah, I think that's really hard. I mean, I don't like giving up business because I remember the time very vividly. It wasn't that long ago that, I needed the business to pay my rent or now pay my mortgage. And so I don't like giving it up, but I think I'm trying to be a little bit better about that.
I give up all of our rentals. I mean, I'll give it to somebody else on the team. It's, to Max's point, it seems like you're doing the same amount of work for a fraction of the pay. And anytime I've ever gotten in trouble, it's always been on a rental. It's like the owner doesn't want a group of females or a group of guys or a certain race or demographic. And it's like, and then at a young age, and like you'll make that comment, oh, we don't want to rent out to, this young family.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's fair housing discrimination.
Right.
So it's like I always got into trouble. So to Max's point, what we've started doing is if they have a nice property and they can furnish it, we just push everything to Attache. That way, Attache will do they'll do the corporate housing rental. They'll get top dollar for it, and then they'll come back to us. Even though the owner's wife is a realtor, they're still pretty good about coming back to us when they're ready to sell. And that way we don't get our hands dirty, so to speak.
No, I've been working on this rental since May. The clients live in California, and they, it was a pretty hefty number for the house. And, the tenants move in finally after, months of, working with my contractor, kind of overseeing the work that needed to be done there to get it ready. And then they move here and then just change their mind after a month of living in the property. And, nobody gets paid for that, and, I've spent money on photography now twice, and, it's turning it into a money pit. So, but then you have other deals that, are extremely lucrative, and you're not working on them as long, so it sort of evens out.
Yeah.
So
It's tough to put that into perspective. Sometimes we were Jonathan Taylor and I were talking the other day. We have a couple deals right now that are, let's just say, a little nightmarish. They're nothing that can't be overcome, but a little nightmarish, and it leads to all these extra hours of work and these nasty conversations and just stupid moments that we all wish didn't happen. And it makes you think, like, is this my job? But then you quickly forget about the other deals that were smooth and easy, because everything becomes focused on this one big negative thing. And that's just human nature. That's just how we are. We respond to the negative stuff 10 times worse than we would to stay happy about the positive stuff. And you have to keep that in mind. It's a tough perspective.
no,
That was a real time.
it is, and that takes experience, and you've always told me that, and you have to have a thick skin, and but also be able to take rejection. I mean, I wrote offers for 2 clients this weekend, lost both, but I was on the phone Sunday night, doing pre-inspection for one house Sunday morning, and I've been working with these clients for a couple months, and then they took a break because the market in Silver Spring was a little competitive, and they called me on Friday and were like, oh, we really like this house, it's in the perfect location, let's go see it. Of course, offers were due Monday morning, 10 a.m. So got them the pre-inspection Sunday morning, and they were second out of 4. They were so close to getting this house, but for whatever reason they didn't get it. But when I called them Monday to tell them that they didn't get the house, I was worried, because I feel badly, when somebody really wants something and they spend money on an inspection, and, everybody handles these things differently. So I was just nervous that they were going to be really upset. And the first thing out of their mouth was, we just want to thank you so much for, working so hard this weekend, and, taking time on Sunday morning and night, to deal with this. And they were so appreciative of my time and effort. And to me, that's so much more valuable than, closing on a deal.
Well, at the end of the day,
just knowing that they appreciate what you're doing.
Absolutely.
And at the end of the day, I mean, it's not your offer, right? I mean, you're writing the offer, giving them guidance, but it's their willingness to go as high as they're willing to go and waive whatever contingencies they're willing to waive. You can give insight, but at the end of the day, it's their decision to go through the roof on an escalation or waive every contingency. So,
Hey, Ellen, you have a lot of experience in different types of markets too, because you've been in the business for these years. And so you've seen ups and downs, you've seen cycles. What do you think of this current market over the last year and a half, where we've seen multiple opposite situations for a lot of years, but I've never experienced anything like this. I don't think anyone has. What do you think about this in the grand scheme of things, with the way prices have escalated in huge percentages over the last 18 months to 24 months? I'm just interested to hear your perspective on this market and what you think of how these buyers are handling things.
I think it's insane. I've never seen anything like this. I mean, when the pandemic hit, I thought, oh my gosh, we're doomed. We're never going to sell another thing. And it's just been remarkable. And no, I've never seen anything like it. And it's amazing to me that the prices just keep going up and going up. And, somebody said to me, and I think it's kind of an interesting thing to think about, DC has never been it's not really been that expensive to live in. We don't rival New York. We don't rival San Francisco. And so, now it seems like we're kind of catching up to those.
We're getting there.
We're catching up to them. And so it's just really interesting. And, the inventory is so low, and people are just, wanting to get out of the condos. I mean, just crazy stuff. And, obviously the interest rates have a lot to do with it. I mean, when I started in this business, the interest rates were like 15%. So, it's totally different. It's just a totally different thing. And I feel terrible for the buyers, because they do they can lose so many houses, and they have to put so much into it and parents fortunately are able to help, or they have good jobs, and so it works. But I always worry, as I've seen in other markets, that when this does turn around and some of these people need to sell their houses for jobs or whatever, and they call us and they say, you need to list my house, and then you're like, oh God, you're not going to get what you paid for it.
Yeah.
And that's what I fear the most about all of this. So,
well, that's what you've been saying. I mean, I have, your experience to, sort of be a sounding board and understand, because I obviously wasn't doing this,
Right.
when you've experienced this,
Yeah.
but, I have buyers. I say, Ellen, should they pay this? This seems crazy. Especially when there are 18 offers in Kensington last February. It was ridiculous. And
Right.
I mean, all of us were saying, no, we're honest with our clients. We say, we don't think that this house is worth this. And, it's up to you if you want to pay that, but, we don't recommend it.
I never would ever tell anyone what to pay for a house.
Sure.
I give them the comps and I say, look, there's going to be 5 offers, and who knows where it's going to go. You have to decide that the price that you go for, you are comfortable with going there. And, and if you use a price that you're comfortable with and you don't get it, you also have to be comfortable with knowing that was what you were going to pay for it, and you move on. So, that's kind of been my thing for years. So
that's wise advice.
I don't know what's going to happen. I just
you never
don't
know what's going to happen.
It's crazy.
And the other aspect that's really interesting with this market is there are many different types of houses out here in general, not as much inventory, unfortunately, but you have houses that need work, you have houses that are redone. And that's another problem, is that the bidding for the construction, just simple construction jobs, has gotten really expensive also, relatively, very quickly. And so you have a buyer, let's say it's one of Courtney's clients who's coming out of the condo and they want to go buy their first house, something like, a detached house in Silver Spring or Kensington, might need some work. They're already pushing the envelope as far as they can on their budget to actually get the house. And then maybe it needs a kitchen renovation. Maybe it needs a new HVAC. I feel like there's, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Maybe there's people who have like these stores of money, but I feel like it's a lot of house poor stuff going on now.
I think that's true.
And then
Right.
not even
That's
that, it's
gotta
the
be true.
inventory of supplies, right? Like if you're looking to get a nice microwave or refrigerator or some of that stuff's
gotta-
on back order for like
Exactly.
6
You
months.
can't get the one you want or the brand you want because they don't have it. They just don't have it.
But the
Very
houses,
strange.
as that need work, you're going to get probably a better price than you would, if it's already done
But then
from
you
a
have,
buyer.
but
Right.
then you have to pay the money to put
Yeah,
it
of
in.
course you have to do that. But, there are plenty of houses that
location-based.
don't,
Yeah.
that maybe need work over time. And, you don't have to renovate your kitchen right away. I feel like so many buyers, look at places and they don't want to work in an older kitchen just because they don't want to look at it or have
there's
people
so
come
many- there's so-
over.
It's so funny to keep up with the Joneses factor. People, they go look at a house and they're like, yeah, we can live with this. And within a month of moving in, they've got the whole
Whole thing ripped
Right.
apart because they
And it's
can't
like,
handle it.
You can live in
Yeah.
it. It's like I live in a 500 square foot condo in the middle of 14th Street during a pandemic with no outdoor space. Like I'm fine.
But you had nice nice appliances.
No, okay, Mom.
You do have nice appliances.
That's a nice
Yeah.
building.
which I don't use because I don't cook. Okay?
It's like it's built in 1954.
I'm just
It's a
saying,
nice
Yeah.
building.
a lot of people during, the pandemic, were out looking just because they were stuck at home with,
Nothing else to do.
or, with their significant other and, they just want a second bedroom or, second floor to get away from them. So anyway, it's just interesting what motivates buyers. And so we, like you do,
You have
spend
to-
a lot of
you
time
have to give it up.
educating them.
You have to give it up for the real estate marketing machine over the last 18 months with people stuck looking at their phones and their screens all the time. The Zillows and the Instagrams, it's unbelievable the amount of real estate that's out here right now and the home design stuff that comes along with it. So it does put a lot of consumer pressure on people that they don't realize what's happening to them.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think that's true.
yeah.
Do you guys have a
Brent.
team philosophy?
Well, I think we do. I think that our philosophy is that we treat everybody, no matter what the price range is. I mean, this is a philosophy of TTR as well, Sotheby's. We treat everybody the same. We work as hard for the 1-bedroom condo as we do for the $5 million houses, and which are very few, but we've had 2. So, I think it's just be nice, be great with your clients, and especially, I've always said this, and I say this to Courtney all the time, is you have to develop really good relationships with your colleagues, your agents, your lenders, your contractors, everybody. You have to treat everybody with respect, and you have to, just treat them, I guess, as family, and be really nice, and don't get into arguments with an agent who wants to be contentious, because there are agents who start off that way. And I usually just say, okay, this isn't the way we're gonna, I can't do it this way,
Ellen, you're good at that though.
Yeah.
She's very good.
And
I'm not putting up with this.
We have to get along here. This is not about you and me, so, I think that's kind of always been my philosophy.
Yeah.
So,
right.
yeah.
I'm just curious, have you ever gotten into like a really nasty fight with another agent because you're so laid back and cool? Like you're screaming, you throw the phone down.
She internalizes her stress.
Yeah, I internalize a lot. I do. That's not great, but
she's good at that.
I probably have, but I think it takes a lot for that to happen. I can't really offhand think of anything at the moment that.
Well, that's good.
But I try, and I mean, yeah, and I've had agents that I actually have 2 agents that were in a deal, and one agent screamed at me, which was ridiculous. And I just called the other agent and I said, I'm not going to, you and I are just going to deal with this from now on, because I don't want to be talked to that way. It's not,
right.
It's terrible. It's not respectful. So, I mean, I try to manage it out some way.
So what kind of, going back to our discussion of what the market's been doing lately and how we're putting this kind of intense upward pressure on things. What is your prediction for the next coming years? Do you have any ideas or thoughts about this? I can't keep going like this, but I'm just interested to hear your thoughts, Ellen, on that.
Well, I think as the inventory stays low and the interest rates stay low, I think we're going to see it continue.
Okay.
And, I don't know if we'll have another pandemic or anything, but, I think it's going to.
Can you imagine?
No, and that would be really awful. So,
God.
So get vaccinated.
Of course.
Still, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, trying to show property during the pandemic was interesting.
Yeah.
It's still a very strange dance right now.
And do inspections, and I have a lot of anxiety just in general about health things, which
Yes, you do.
So this kind of
Wait, what's this?
Yes.
Are you a hypochondriac?
Just Courtney.
Just a little. No, but I remember being on our Zoom meetings, and there were no rules for this and what we were supposed to do, and I had buyers wanting to go do a home inspection on a house in Petworth, and nobody was wearing masks or vaccinated or anything. And I remember, being very anxious and just, asking what are the rules for this? What are we supposed to do? I sat on the porch. I was, I just was trying to survive, and I didn't want any family members to be around clients either. And, especially you. And
yeah, you gave me a lot of,
I gave you a lot.
You lectured me a lot during that time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was scary,
challenging,
and we had to be
weird.
We had to be out there and in front of people.
What about now? It seems like for me anyway, it's extremely weird. Did you go in for the handshake, fist bump, or wave, or hug? What are you guys doing?
Kind of everything. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm a little bit loose about it now than I was.
Yeah.
And what about you, Max?
I think fist bump is number 1 right now for me. But a lot of people are going straight for the handshake now, which is fine.
It's weird. It's like you do the handshake and they're doing the fist bump, and then they switch to the handshake, and now you're doing the fist bump, and it's like a little dance there for like 30
That was
seconds.
always that's been an awkward thing since middle school.
Yeah.
No change.
So, hey Brent, do you want to? what do you guys think? Do you go on a
You guys
do
will
you
do the
have any
rapid
other
fire?
core questions? Yeah. Do you
Yeah.
want to rapid fire?
Sure.
Sure.
Any other questions you guys want to go over? Crazy deal, big deal, little deal,
Yeah.
first deal?
I have a good story about a first deal.
Okay.
Okay, Ellen, tell us about your first deal.
My first deal, it was a co-op, and the price of it was $70,000, and it was on Connecticut Avenue. And this is somebody who just, we did floor duty in those days, and that's
Yeah.
how that's how I met a lot of people. And I even have one client today that I met on floor duty over the phone, and she's just moved to Boston, and I've sold like her fourth property. So, I mean, I think it's a really good thing to do. But anyway, so $70,000. The buyer was a doctor in Philadelphia. He's buying it for his son. He took out a loan. The day before closing, something went awry with the loan. And so he went to the bank in Philadelphia, and he filled a briefcase with $70,000 in cash.
Wow.
And he came to closing with his briefcase, and they counted it out right there at the
What?
table.
Wow.
I've never heard this.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Well, wait. So they allowed the
He just
cash
paid-
to be transacted?
Well, they just took the cash, and he paid
Okay.
cash.
Yeah, that's not allowed now.
No, it's not. But a lot of things were different then. So yeah,
Fair enough.
that was really pretty impressive. And there was the guy. Did you ever know Jim Setta,
I don't think
Kathy
so.
Shank? Anyway,
That sounds familiar. That
yeah.
name does.
And
Is that
I-
Edmund J. Flynn?
No, it wasn't. Anyway, he just
Counted.
yeah.
How long did that take?
He said I used to be a bank teller, so it didn't take that long.
Yeah, 70,000 isn't.
It's not much, but at
Right.
the time, that was a lot of money.
Sure.
Really,
So
Yeah.
that was your
Good.
first deal. If that
That's my-
same unit traded today, what would it be?
I knew you were going to ask me that, and I would.
Just ballpark.
No, I know it probably in the 400s.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
a 1-bedroom, probably
There you go.
something like that. Yeah,
Ponce de Leon, which building?
I don't even remember Max, and I never ever worked with him after that, so I don't know.
Well, cash
I'm
deals.
doing a co-op right now. I
Yeah.
hope it goes to closing. Had a little hiccup.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, why don't we go to our rapid fire questions?
Okay.
Rapid fire. You guys ready?
hmm
Mm-hmm.
What is your guilty pleasure?
Chocolate.
Yeah, I was just going to say
Both.
chocolate. Yeah.
Wow. That's mine too. I got
I know,
chocolate milk here.
And then
And
the
you're
Robin
just-
Brent
You're
group
drinking
keep-
chocolate milk?
Yes.
Yeah, and Robin
What
Brent
the-
group keep chocolate candy
Yes.
jars.
So I'm really
In the
excited
office.
about these.
Yeah, M&M. Oh, actually, M&Ms are probably
they
your
are
favorite candy.
Are
yeah,
they
the
chocolate
Max and Brent
inside?
M&Ms. I guess.
Yes.
I haven't had any yet.
What's the saying? If it'll melt in your hand, or it doesn't melt in your hand, it melts in your mouth.
Yeah. All
Right.
right. Okay. I'm
Well,
good.
we'll see.
So, what book are you currently reading, or what's your favorite book if you're not reading one?
You can answer this.
Yes, Courtney. I know.
I'm still finishing my summer reading.
Right now, I just actually started the Stanley Tucci book,
Ah,
Taste, which is because I watched that series on CNN on him going all through Italy because I love to cook. And so I just started it, and it's really it's going to be a great book. I'm really looking forward to it. So
and didn't he lose his taste? That's the
he
thing
did.
about it.
He had
What?
cancer. He had cancer, I think, of the tongue. I haven't gotten to that part yet.
Yeah.
I'm just where he's and he has recipes, and so
Oh, sorry, spoiler alert.
yeah. So he's just taken up. He likes Negronis. I think he has something
Oh,
on
that's your
Instagram or something.
drink.
Well, I just started that. A client got me onto that. So anyway, I can't wait to try his Negroni recipe.
Oh my gosh, my parents had Negronis like every night for cocktails when we went to Maine.
Yes,
this
we did.
summer. It's like wow.
I'm on vacation. So
Sounds like a
Oh,
nice
you have to
trip.
ask Ellen about her bartending days.
Bartending
She was a
days.
bartender at the Old Epic Grill.
at the old Ebbett
The
Grill.
old Epic.
Yes, I was.
Did you
I
meet some
was.
famous people, some movers and shakers there?
I actually did. Dustin Hoffman.
Oh, wow.
He was
Oh.
directing a play, and Christopher Reeves. He was in a play around the corner. Yeah, so that was kind of cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I worked there when I was in college and when I got out of college for a little while. My parents were like, is this what you're going to do? And I go, well, for right now. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Favorite TV show?
I have so many of them. Schitt's Creek, that was great.
Schitt's Creek is great.
Beverly Hills. You and I
90210?
talked about this.
Housewives.
No, the
Oh,
house.
I was like, wow.
No.
Where's Dylan and Brandon?
No, I never watched that. The Real Housewives of Beverly
Yes.
Hills. Brent watches that too.
I did, yes. That and what's New Jersey with Teresa and
Yeah, no.
Oh no, I
Couldn't go there.
haven't watched that.
You know,
I watched Ted Lasso. I really like Ted
That's very good.
Lasso.
Very cute show.
What else? I just started the morning show.
I heard that's really good.
That's a good. I like that.
It's been good.
Nobody's watching the Squid Game?
Yeah. What about Squid
No,
Games?
you know, I thought about it because I watched a lot of things over the last year and a half, and I don't know. I'm not sure that I want to.
I don't think I do either.
Yeah,
It's
I,
good.
Not my
you know,
jam.
Highly recommend it.
Yeah.
I finished it in like 3 days. It's really good.
uh-huh.
How do you have time to watch TV too? I don't understand how you do all these things.
So I'm doing it on the bike. So I'm not very
Got it.
effective on the bike, but I'll sit there
Oh.
for 2 hours at 5 o'clock in the morning and get to. And the other thing is, this
That's
is
a
a
good
trick.
idea.
Yeah,
I do it on Netflix. It's on Netflix, but
Yeah.
I do Netflix and I do 1.5 speed. So an hour
Mhm.
show becomes like 30 minutes.
oh,
And they talk really fast.
that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I need
you know
to
what?
do that.
I'm a night owl, so I will start, and then the next thing I know, I've been through 4 episodes, and it's 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
god.
Yeah. I
So
can't do that.
yeah, but yeah.
Yeah,
don't know.
I like the short series.
Yes.
Yes,
9,
me
10
too.
episodes.
Yeah.
Don't do a season
Yeah.
2.
Oh,
Now I'm forgetting the name of the Kate Winslet.
Mar of East.
Mare
Mare of
Mare of
Mare of
Easttown.
Easttown. That was
Yes.
wonderful.
Yeah,
That was
that was
wonderful.
That was my
Awesome.
favorite.
King's Gambit.
Queen's Gambit.
Queen's Gambit. See, whatever. Queen's Gambit.
Maybe that's part 2.
Maybe King's Gambit. Yeah, all that stuff.
Cool.
Google some
2 more
chess
questions.
Strategy.
DC, you're in DC, your most favorite restaurant to frequent.
Oh, Courtney, you can have
I know,
this
I love
one.
Lupo Verde.
Without
I know.
offending anyone.
Yes,
Like-
without offending somebody else.
No, I just
thanks.
during COVID the patio is very nice at Lupo Verde. I enjoy it. When it's like my my Cheers.
That's true.
I like that.
Everybody knows your name.
Literally.
Yeah, and
You sit at the corner of the bar there, and it's like, hey.
Corner table.
no, she sits right outside.
Outside. It's-
outside on the.
She holds
It's
court
nice.
at
Oh,
Lupo Verde.
Court.
Yes.
Well, it's great. It's great networking. I run into old clients.
Highly visible.
Yeah, it's good.
I go to Buck's Fishing and Camping,
Nice.
which is up next to Comet,
Yeah.
owned by the same
Yeah.
place. Yeah, we go there a lot, and we carried out a lot to support them during the pandemic. So
Excellent.
that's
Last
my
question.
go-to.
Favorite cocktail?
Oh, well,
We
mine.
know
now.
that.
I'm very into Moscow mules.
Moscow Mule.
Those are very popular right now. I don't drink, but I know those are very popular. I see those on a lot of menus. So
Mhm.
Cool.
If I had to pick just one.
I mostly just drink wine, Negroni on occasion.
Good deal.
keep it simple.
All righty, Max.
Well-
back to you.
Yeah, I'm just going to say, hey, Ellen and Courtney, thank you so much for coming on. It was fantastic to have you here. Now, something that we're doing, we were sending gifts to some of our guests here and there, and you're welcome to as many M&Ms as you want, but we're also doing charitable foundation shout out, and we'll make a donation to any charity that you'd like to discuss. So let us know. Who can you give us the name of a charity that you'd be interested in sharing?
Well, we have a couple, so I don't
Okay.
know, Courtney. What do you think?
I mean, I think we should support N Street Village, the women of
Yes.
N
Okay.
Street Village.
Yeah, and we do. We
They're
do.
fantastic.
Yeah.
We were on the host committee for Celebrate Logan, and so yeah, I mean, N Street Village would be great.
Thank you all.
Thank
been a
you.
pleasure.
Make sure
Thank
that
you.
happens. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank
Really
you for
appreciate
having
it.
us. It was really great and fun.
Thanks for listening to Keyed In with your hosts, Max and Brent, unlocking the minds of the industry's top real estate professionals. For more information on selling your home, find us online at keyedinpodcast.com. Remember to subscribe to Keyed In on Apple Podcasts or wherever you like to listen to podcasts. Follow us on Instagram at Keyed In Podcast, at Rabin Max, and at Brent E. Jackson. And follow Max on on TikTok @MaxwellRabin_properties.